Okay, good morning to all. Today I am going to discuss regarding the simulation. So first we are going to define the simulation. So what is meant by simulation means simulation is the imitation of the operation of the real world process or system over time. So here we have to know the difference between actual experiment to the model of the actual experiment. That means riding a bike or driving a car. So we can take the examples regarding these things. So with the help of simulation software, we can ride the bike or we can drive a car. So these are the examples regarding the simulation. So here we are going to imitate the process or the system for the system over time. So for example, another example means generation of artificial history and observation of that observation history. So here you should know the difference between the artificial history and the generation of the observation of the history. Okay, so artificial history will comes under the imitation process and the observation of the history will comes under the actual experiment. So with the help of simulation software, we can drive a car or we can ride a bike. So here next coming to the model concept. So if you want to develop a model in the simulation software, first we have to go for the conceptual process. So for a model, we should require some concept, some fundamentals, so regarding the parameters, etc. So a model constructs a conceptual framework that describes a system. So whatever the concept that is required to a particular model, so for that the system has been described. Okay. So main theme of simulation is we have to validate our model in the simulation software. So the behavior of a system will depends on the developing the simulation model. So whatever the behavior that we are going to develop regarding the simulation software, so first we have to, so in that process we are going to develop a particular simulation model. So in this we can develop a model, we can develop a system, or we can develop anything regarding the simulation software. So next the model will take the expressed assumptions. So whatever the assumptions required regarding a particular model, so that assumptions we are going to take in this simulation software. So what are those assumptions means? Mathematical and logical expressions, mathematical expressions as well as logical expressions, and symbolic relationship between the entities. So here entities will be taken and or treated as components, parts, whatever it may be. So here in this simulation software, we are going to take the expressed assumptions such as logical assumptions and mathematical assumptions, whatever it may be. When the system becomes complex, we are going for simulation software. Okay. Next, coming to another topic, that is goal of modeling and simulation. So what is the goal of our regarding our model by using the simulation software? So a model can be used to investigate what if questions. Here we are going to verify the what if questions about the real world system. That is, if this will be the condition, then what will be the solution? Okay. So if this is the condition, here condition means we are going to perform that task. So based on the performance of the task, we are going to get the simulation result. So if this will be the condition, then what will be the solution? So here these type of questions will be raised in the simulation process. So potential changes will be has been made to the simulated, and we are going to predicate the results, and finally we are going to impact the system. So predication means guessing. So if this will be the condition, the solution will be in this approximately this will be the solution. So in that way we are going to estimate our simulation result. So next, find adequate parameters before implementation. So here we are going to find the adequate parameters. Adequate parameters means what are the So regarding a particular system, we are applying this type of parameters. So then what will be the solution? So each and every system we are having, we will attain different types of parameters. So for all for any type of system, we are not applying same parameters. So likewise, first we have to find the adequate parameters, and after that we are going for simulation implementation. So that means we will get the result. So the simulation can be used as analysis tool for predicating the effect of changes. Analysis tool for predicating the effect of changes. So here we are going to use the simulation software as a particular tool. So by using this simulation tool, we are going to get the changes regarding that particular system or particular unit, whatever it may be. So next, design tool. Design tool to predicate the performance of the system. So analysis tool is used to get the changes in that particular system, and design tool. So what for the design tool is used means, design tool is used to predicate the performance of the system. Predication means here we are going to take as guessing process. So predication means if this will be the problem, then this will be the solution. That means approximately. So we will get the approximation process. So here we are going to use the two types of tools. That is, first one is analysis tool and second one is design tool. So analysis tool is used to change the effect in the system, and design tool is used to change the performance of the particular system. So it is better to do the simulation before implementation process. So before going to implement our system or component or whatever it may be, so we should check each and every part. We should check each and every aspect of that particular design tool or analysis tool. Okay. Next, coming to simulation, how a model can be developed. Okay, so in this, by using the simulation software, so how can we develop our model? So previously we have discussed regarding with the help of expressed assumption, that means logical assumptions, mathematical assumptions likewise. So by using these assumptions, how can we develop a model? Okay, so mathematical models. So we have different types of mathematical models we have. So in the simulation software, in the simulation process, what are the mathematical methods that we are going to use? Probability theory, algebraic method. So probability theory, algebraic method. So probability theory, as we all know that probability, so success and failure chances will be there. Okay, so algebraic method, we all know that regarding what is the algebraic method by using the simulation software. These are some of the mathematical methods that we are going to use in the simulation process. Next, their results are accurate. So their results are accurate. Accurate means exactness. Exactness, precision, accurate, all these words comes under same meaning. So here accurate means exactness. So suppose for example 34.2 mm we got means, so we have the result should be in 34.2 mm. We should not go for 33 or 35 beyond that. They have the few number of parameters. So if the parameters are few means the system will not become complicated. The system will be very simple. So if the parameters are more means the system will become complicated process. Numerical computer based simulation. So numerical computer based simulation means with the help of it is a simple process. By using the CNC machines or any type of machines, by using the CNC machines, computer numerical control machines, we are going to write the program in that. So regarding that program, the machining will be done. So here also with the help of simulation software, we have to write the program. So by writing the program, so we are implementing the simulation process. So if any error has been occurred in that, if any error has been taken place, so that we have to rectify by changing the parameters or whatever it may be, modifying the program likewise. So it is useful for complex systems or complex parts also. So it is used for complex system or complex parts. Next, coming to the when simulation is the appropriate tool. So why we are explaining that simulation is the appropriate tool means we are using the simulation, we are taking the simulation as a software tool. So we are using the simulation software as simulation enables the study of internal interaction of a subsystem with the complex system. Here we are going to study that means we are going to analyze the simulation software. By using the simulation software, we have to study the concept regarding the system, regarding that particular system or particular component. So for a component, we are going to get the interaction. What is the interaction means? With system to person, person to person, or person to system, likewise. So this is the interaction between the simulation tool as well as the user. So what will happen if we have the internal interaction means? So what are the information that is there in the simulation process that we are going to follow? Okay, informational, organizational, and environmental effects changes can be simulated, and we have to find their effects. So here informational changes, organizational changes, as well as environmental changes has been simulated to find their effects. So by using the informational changes, what is the effect? What is the effect that can be taken place? So as well as organizational changes. So regarding the organization, we are going to make the changes. So wherever the change is required, there we have to do the change. So that impact should not be taken on the others. So informational changes means whatever the information that has to be passed on to the particular system or particular machine, whatever it may be. Next, coming to the environmental changes. So by environmental changes, environment should also support to the particular system. So these are the changes that will show the impact on the system or component or whatever. A simulation model help us to gain knowledge about improvement of the system. So what is the main advantage of the simulation means? It will help us to gain knowledge. So how can we gain the knowledge? By designing the process, by entering the program into the system. So in this way we are going to gain the knowledge. What are the failures that has been taken place? What are the effects that has been taken place? So all these changes that we are going to rewrite. And also it is used to improve the system or component. So what for simulation we are using means, it is used to gain the knowledge, and we have to improve the particular system. Finding important input parameters with changing simulation inputs. So finding important input parameters. What are the input parameters that we will give for the system? What are the input parameters that we will give for the particular component? So all this should be while implementing this process, we have to check all these things, whether they are in correct procedure or correct process or not. Simulation can be used with new design and policies before implementation. Okay, whatever the new policies that we have, so that we can be interpret in this simulation software. What are the different capabilities? So for a particular system, we have different types of capabilities. For a particular component, we have different types of capabilities. So based on the capability of a system, based on the capability of a component, we are going to implement the simulation software. So for each and every system or any type of component, they have different parameters. So based on that parameters only, we are going for simulation implementation process. So simulation models are designed for training, make learning possible without the cost disruption. So what for we are using the simulation means, here we have to gain the knowledge. We can be able to train the different types of people. So train to the students, training to the other persons. So by learning the simulation process, we can train students, whoever it is necessary, we are going to train up the students. So a plan can be visualized with animated solution. So here simulation can be taken as a plan. So starting from the initial stage of our point to the end point. So for in middle, the processing, whatever the processing that will requires. So after the completion of the process, so finally we will get the result. We will get the required result. So based on the result only, we are getting the simulation software. The modern system is too complex that its internal interaction can be treated only by simulation. So why the system will become complicated means if the parameters are more. If the parameters are more means the system will become complicated. So if the parameters are less means the system will be very simple. So these are some of the goals. These are some of the points that we are going in approximation of the tool. So when the tool is not appropriate, how can we say that when the tool is not appropriate? Means when the problem can be solved with when the problem can be solved by common sense. That means here the manually the problem can be solved in a very somewhat it is difficult manner. So with the help of simulation software we can calculate in that only, so we can get the final result. So when it is not appropriate means when the problem can be solved with the common sense. When the problem can be solved analytically. So based on the analysis. So starting we are going to study the process. So starting from our process we have to study the process. So after that we are going for implementation of the process. So all this will be done with the help of analytically, that means analysis tool. So with the help of analysis tool we are going to solve our problem in the predication way. Predication means in the guessing manner, not in the accurate manner. So analytically, if it is easier to perform direct experiments. So if we want to perform the direct experiments, we have to go for we have to go for simulation process itself. Okay, when the tool is not appropriate means we should not go for direct experiments. If cost exceed savings, okay, here we should be very careful with money also. So cost also. So if cost is very expensive means it is unable to do the simulation process. Okay. So if resource or time are not available, so whatever the resources that is required for our component, what are the resources that are required for our system, if that is not in a if those resources are not available to us, so it will be very difficult. Somewhat it is difficult process. Next, if system behavior is too complex, if whatever the system behavior if it is too complex means the simulation will not be able to done in a fast manner. So we can implement the process, but fast production rate will be decreased. Next, what are the advantages? So what are the advantages that we have means in contrast to optimization models, simulation models are run rather than solved. So whatever normally we are going to solve the problems with the help of manual power. So with the help of simulation tools, we can run the solution in a running manner. That means the result, that means animated solution, we will get the animated solution. Okay, so running manner. So this is one of the advantage in the simulation process. Next, coming to what are the different types of advantages we have means new policies, operating procedures, information flow and so on can be explored without disrupting ongoing operation of the real world system. Here what is meant by disrupting means disturbance. We should not create any type of disturbance while entering into the database. So new policies, what are the new policies that we have to take up? What are the new operating procedure that we have to follow? So based on the technology, nowadays we are going for different types of technologies. In the simulation also, the new technology has been developed. So we have to follow that new technology. Well, that means new policies, operating procedures. What are the procedures that we have? We have to follow that. Information flow. What is the information that has in the simulation process? All these we have to consider, and we should not disrupt that. That means we should not take any disturbance. And operation that means we have to run the simulation process in the real world system process. New hardware designs, physical layouts, transportation systems and so on can be tested without committing resources for their acquisition. So new hardware designs. What are the new hardware designs that we have to take? So suppose if you want a new hardware designs means switches, relays, counters, timers, all these will comes under the hardware designs. What are the layouts? physical layouts. Physical layouts means based on that layout only we are going for manufacturing process. So without any layout or without any design, we are not unable to manufacture any type of system or component or something else. So physical layout is also very, very important. This is also one of the advantage. Next, coming to transportation systems. So transportation systems and so on can be tested without committing the resources for their acquisition. Okay, time can be compressed or expanded to allow for a speed up or slow down of the phenomenon. So here time is also one of the self-control process we can say. So time is also one of the self-control process that we are going to take in this simulation process. So insight can be obtained about interaction of variables and important variables to the performance. So insight we can observe the simulation means we can interaction of variables. So interaction of variables means what are the variables that has been present in that particular system, what are the variables or parameters that has been present in the components. So likewise we have to check before implementation of the simulation process. Bottleneck analysis can be performed to discover where work in process the system is delayed. So first we have to know what is meant by bottleneck process. So what is meant by bottleneck process means it's a break process. So suppose if from first point to second point, if we cover the operation process, if we completed the operation process, there we have to take the break. Next again